I would like to call the meeting to order. It is now 6:05 PM. Everyone is seated. I apologize for the delay in the beginning of the meeting due to administrative issues. Today is May 5th. We have 3 cases on the agenda. We'll start with the roll call of all members.
Mrs. Fraser?
Here.
Mr. Gillian?
Here.
Mr. Markovitz? Mr. Midlick?
Here.
Mr. Sharma?
Here.
I'll excuse Dave.
Would you like, are you making a motion to
I'll make
excuse
the
him?
motion. Excuse
It's
Dave.
actually on the agenda at the bottom. It's number 6,
Okay.
5.
Okay. We were aware of his absence, and we will make the motion at the end. The next item on the agenda is public participation, and that is the opportunity for anyone to speak who does not have a case number. So if you don't have a case number and you'd like to speak to the board today, this is your opportunity. Okay, then we'll begin with the first case. That's case 220522, which is at 8870 Darrow Road. Play It Again Sports.
Hello. My name's Caitlin. I'm here for Lad Sign and Lighting for Play It Again Sports. This location is rebranding, so this is the standard sign package for their rebranding.
So what we're seeing here is a new sign in the existing location. It has the same words, Play It Again Sports, but the graphics have changed. The font has changed. It's changed in color.
Correct.
Okay. And is the sign internally illuminated?
Yes.
Okay. And then the signage, it says LED letters, and the color on the sides is black, the returns?
Yes, I believe that's the trim cap that's around each letter. The front of it is white, but the siding is the black
Is the
color
black.
they're referring to.
Okay. I think it's a nice looking sign. I think it's an improvement upon what was there.
Right. I do too. So you have one of these in Macedonia too?
I believe, I don't know if it's Macedonia. I know we've done a couple other locations like this.
All right, yeah, I was just wondering, so it's like used sports equipment and they're just,
Correct. It's a franchise, so there are quite a few locations.
I like the sign.
Barrage?
I have no questions.
Would someone like to make the motion?
I'll make a motion to pass it. I'll second it.
Excuse me. When we make motions, there's a guideline in front of you. So the correct way to do that would be to state the case number.
Oh,
I
okay.
want to make a motion that we approve case number 220522 and ask for a second.
I make a motion to pass 2225,
220522.
220522.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Okay, there's no further discussion. I'll call for a vote.
Mr. Gillian?
Yes.
Mr. Sharma?
Yes.
Mr. Midlick?
Yes.
Mrs. Fraser?
Yes. Okay, your case was approved unanimously.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll move right on to our second case, which is case 220523. It's at 2057 East Aurora Road, monument sign replacement.
I'm not Michelle Archer.
You're not Michelle, you're not on my agenda. No. Who are you today?
My name is David Kuhari. I'm president of the Monroe Condo Association and also the owner of Industrial Mold and Machine, which resides in that property.
Okay.
And what I have asked the sign people to do is, I don't know what the picture you have that looks like, but we were told that we had to have it called some kind of a business park or something. And what I've had them do is add at the top of the sign, say Monroe Condo Association. And I didn't know how many of these to bring, but I brought 5 copies, and there's six of you up there.
We got one in the mail already. Have you made changes?
Does it say Monroe Condo at the top?
No, it does not.
Yeah.
So we'll
Can I
need the
bring-
new
Can I
ones.
approach?
Yes. Thank you.
No, we're not really.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Absorb that relatively quick. Pretty generic, but it works.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The building in question is 44 years old. I've been a tenant there, an owner there, 34 years, and the sign's been there as long as I have. It's just fallen apart, and it looks like a campground sign. And so we're trying to update into this century.
Yeah.
There's an existing sign there now, right?
Yes, it's shown on your picture.
Okay, yeah, so that's going, and then you're doing a new one?
Yes, yes, we're replacing, we're not adding a sign.
Okay. I didn't know if you were fixing it up, or,
No.
I got it.
Complete
No, and it's
replacement.
still going to be 50 foot from the center of the road and 10 foot back from the right-of-way.
Good.
So it's going to be pretty much right where it is.
Is this a double-faced sign?
Yes,
Same thing both sides?
yes,
Okay.
illuminated from inside.
Okay.
This is actually a little bit bigger, right?
What's that?
Is it a little bit bigger than the existing? When I went by there today, it was kind of hard. The existing sign was a little hard to,
Yeah, I don't think it's much bigger. Can you tell from the, I don't
I
have a
mean, just
picture
from the
anymore.
pictures, it looks like it'll actually be easier to see from the street. so
Yeah,
I-
it's just going to be
I like
easier to
it,
see.
yeah.
Another thing I noted was in the existing sign, tenants that had a small number of characters to their name had larger font sizes. In the new one you're proposing, you're showing all font size to be the
Yes.
same height letter text?
Yes.
Okay.
And there's a problem with one of the owners of our complex that they can't get settled with the building department, and we can't get a sign approved to put on the outside of the building at their unit, and they will not be added to the monument sign until they've come into compliance with the building department.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure you guys knew that the only people that are going to be on that sign are the people who are in good standing with the building department.
Okay.
Makes sense. Okay, it looks good to me.
I see it has the address and looks good. Any further discussion? Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve case 220523. May I have a second?
A second.
Okay. I'll call for a vote.
Mr. Sharma?
Yes.
Mr. Gilligan?
Yes.
Mr. Midlick?
Yes.
Mrs. Frazier?
Yes. Okay, you've been approved.
Thank you. I knew there had to be somebody in Twinsburg with common sense. Thank you, people.
Thank you.
There's a lot of us. What's that?
We'll have to make sure we include, when we turn these in, that we have the one that has Monroe Condo Association
Correct,
on
yeah.
it. Okay.
Yep.
And then our third case tonight is case 220524 at 9481 Ravenna Road, replace building front.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi. I'm Nicole. I'm here on behalf of Carina Motors.
Okay.
You guys been there for quite a while.
Yes.
Remember when it first came in?
Yeah, trying to make some upgrades.
Yeah, it's been there.
We have some photographs. Has some of the work that you're proposing already been completed?
Yes, it has been fully completed.
Fully completed, okay. So is the signage new?
No, well, it is newer, but we had a permit for that. Easy Sign did the sign for us. The only thing that we have done was a stone front. It wasn't like a structure change or anything. It was just cosmetic.
Okay, so the sign was already on your building prior to this renovation?
Yes, ma'am.
You took it down, you put it back up?
No, we didn't take it down. It's been there.
Oh, it's been there the whole time? Mm-hmm. Is the black facing new? Or dark gray? Is the dark gray facing new?
2 years ago.
Okay, it just looks fresh, so I was
Yeah,
assuming
2
that
years
that was
ago,
new.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was when we did the paint on the building as well as the sign.
Okay, so you're here today for just the stone?
You said it's already up, right?
Yes, I apologize. I didn't know that we needed a
Yeah.
permit for that.
I can see that getting by.
Well-
I can think it sometimes.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, with commercial properties, I know with residential properties, people reside.
Yeah.
And they don't always come through for color changes or material changes. But
Sure.
with commercial, they're a little more diligent about catching people.
Understandable.
Yes. No, all right, so, I think that it's a nice-looking stone. My only concerns are just like, and it would have to be something, if we decide to change it, that would need to be corrected, is just how it meets the ground.
There's been asphalt at the bottom that sealed it. Is that what you're saying, on the ground?
Yeah, usually when you have a stone and how it turns the corners,
It's completely flush with the other side. You can't see it from the other side.
right.
It's the last photo.
The last photo has the, so the only things that are a little frustrating, and I don't know that we would have caught it off of your drawings, had you come in with architectural drawings, is how the stone is turning the outside corners, like around that column, and then the stone to
The column is a square.
Correct. So typically you buy corner pieces when you do stone around outside corners,
Okay.
so that you don't see it
It's
looking like.
mortared. I don't know when those, I don't think that it was even completed at that time in that photo.
Yeah.
It's been fully mortared. All the cracks and everything from the top to the bottom around the corners, everything is completely, it's cement in between.
Right.
Like grout lines. filled
Yeah.
in after it's done.
Right, but what I'm trying to describe is, there's a product that people use when they buy stone that goes on the long face, and inside corners, you just cut and miter, because that's representing two different walls, but on an exterior corner, usually you would buy corner pieces. It's a stone that's
We
actually,
had a guy who's actually from Italy that did the stonework. He's a professional. He definitely knows how to do stone, so I don't think that we needed a corner piece. I mean, it looks perfect if you want to see it. I wouldn't want to put like
You're
a
talking
corner
about like
plastic or
bulldozers?
something.
Outside corner
yes,
bulldozers.
yes, like outside corner.
I don't know with natural stone, if that's something that this isn't like a.
It's like a chippy slate look, right.
Yeah, this isn't a manufactured.
Yeah, exactly. It's real stone.
Oh, no, I
Slate.
understand that, right. And they're expensive. Outside corners are expensive to get cut. But they usually turn the corner by a couple inches so that they're not, because this looks like, everything's a half an inch thick. And I'm sure that's what it was. So that's something, like I said, I don't know if we would have caught it had it come through in architectural drawings. When I look at this right away, it says, that the outside corners, and then this edge right here, that's at the edge of your soffit,
So
that's another
that, yeah,
spot.
that, of course, it has been completed. It does have, under there it does, but not on the corners of that pillar. It doesn't have any kind of corner pieces, but it definitely does have like a border
There's something
around
that
the
goes underneath this?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm looking for on there would be, right, some sort of trim, a way to finish it. It's the detail on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been completed.
Right,
So it's
otherwise,
close.
if this was actually made out of stone, it's what gives it away, as being just like thin stone glued on. If it was actually.
It's not
Okay,
thin
okay.
stone glued on. It's actually,
If it,
very
I understand
professional.
it's a thin veneer, I'm not, if it was actually constructed of stone, like solid stone, which it's kind of representing, you couldn't have an edge like that, because all those stones would come down.
so what he does
It would
is
be
he actually
supported.
takes every stone, he buys them, and he chips them away to fit perfectly on the edges of everything. So everything is completely,
Yeah.
it's
Right.
It's got very nice edges, and I think it's a finished look.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I see a miter too, but sometimes I feel like you have to fill in the gaps because it's not like a tight miter
Sure.
like wood, so you still got gaps on the outside corners. But some people sit there and caulk it in.
And that's exactly what he did. I watched him do it for 3 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
I think the place has never looked better.
Thank you.
And then one other question is, we don't have anything showing this face of the building where this turns. Usually we require a 2-foot return on stone, and we've required that even on residential. Did you return the stone on the side?
This side, no, there's nothing on the side, it's just that same, is that what you're talking about? Do we,
When you turn the corner of the building here, what happens on that
the
wall?
same black as the other, it's that brick?
It's this
Yeah.
here. And so it looks like this extends out about, I don't know, 1.5 feet. The stone extends beyond about a
No,
foot
it
and a half.
doesn't, that's just the angle of the picture, I guess. It's 100% flush with the side of the building. It just sticks out, that's like our closet with a sunroom, like a sunroof or whatever you can see, probably
Yeah.
the little thing that peeks out. But that's one,
Okay, I see what you're saying.
yeah, it's not any difference.
So there's no stone on that face? That whole left side of the building is all just,
Yeah, it's just the same as it is on the other parts.
That's what it looks like.
it's
if
the
you
one
did-
thing we're missing.
Jen, I believe it's on the last page. Do you have this one here?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have that one.
So they did return it on the corner?
Can you pass that? I saw that one.
Oh, I have.
Sorry, I've gone through it a few times here.
It might have been a blank page when you made the copies.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
I have this one,
You have one?
yeah.
Okay, so had this come through without being installed, I would have taken this stone massing back to where it hits the building. And that way, this becomes a unit, and it gives it the entire thing, the heavy stone look. Whereas this looks like, it makes it separate planes.
Okay.
So that's what I would have done. I hate when we keep getting projects that come through that are already constructed, and now it would have been an easy change, and we would have said, bring the stone, turn the corner.
In my personal opinion, I think that whole side would have to be completed, because where's the end of it, you know?
Where the corner of your building is, because this is a separate massing.
Well, from that angle, sure, but if you're actually looking at that side of the building, it's completely different. It has a different face, like, it looks to be the same. It's not, it doesn't
And that's why,
stick out.
right, that's why a lot of people design axonometrically, which means at an angle, or as you would see it as you're driving by or approaching or walking, rather than just on an elevation. So I would have requested that the stone turn that corner minimum of 2 feet, which we've required of anybody putting a stone face on, including all residential, including all Pulte, all Ryan Homes. And in this particular case, I would have recommended that we bring it back to where the corner is of the upper portion of the building to complete that massing in stone. That's what I would have done had it not been already constructed. So now we're stuck with,
Yeah,
do we have that changed, or do we say,
yeah, I
You know.
mean, I think it's an honest mistake, and I do know that property, it's not like you see it that much, so I'd be all right with it, but really, you should have came in.
Yeah, and again, I didn't know I needed a permit to do a cosmetic change.
Because
I
if you
found
came
out
in,
after
Like she said, we
we were
would
done.
have said, hey, just
Sure.
return at least a few feet.
Sure, and that's, like I said, moving forward, we obviously know anything that we do needs to be
Yeah.
gone through you guys, but
I think, right, I like the stone, I like the color, I like the signage that you said was already there. I think
Yeah,
that
it's
looks
been there.
nice. Those are just the details as an architect that I would have recommended or requested. And actually, on this photograph, it looks like you're
haven't
using...
you driven by Carina Motors, like recently in the past? You haven't
Yes.
seen it?
Yeah, I have. I like the color. It looks nice.
But you noticed the side that it didn't go over, you thought it looked like not symmetrical?
It's not that it's not symmetrical, because it's definitely not symmetrical. I know that.
Or, yeah, whatever
But-
you were saying at the angle or whatever needed to be wrapped around.
Right, and I'm telling you that we require that of
Sure.
anybody that comes through. Whenever there's a stone, we ask that it be returned on the side 2 feet, because it gives
Sure.
a thickness to the wall. Rather than a tiled look, it makes it look like the wall massing is made out of stone.
Okay.
And in this case, it would have been, kind of the reflection of how this column is 2 feet thick. This would be a 2-foot thick stone wall. So what this is doing is this is giving the illusion that you had a 2-foot thick stone wall, and then you put siding over it, because that's how things would be constructed, logically, how they would be engineered. So that would have been a thick stone massing, and then it looks like you pulled your siding over it.
Okay.
I know in actuality, you
Yeah,
don't
I mean,
have
that
stone behind
siding
there.
is from 1940 and they don't
Right.
make it anymore, otherwise we would have kept that,
Right. So that's where That's where we stand. I don't know how anybody feels, if you want to make a motion to approve it as it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think the place has never looked better, personally.
I know, I do think it's a great improvement, and that's what I would have said to do had you come in earlier. But it's
Yeah, and
already
again,
up.
if I knew to come in earlier, I would have, so
I
I get it,
understand, I
yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's your free architectural design advice. Any further discussion?
You know what John said, I'm okay with it. So I'll make a motion to approve case 220524 as submitted. May I have a second?
I think you already motioned. Did you motion?
Not on this case.
There's not been a motion yet.
But I'll second.
Sorry about
Thank
that.
you.
Mr. Sharma?
Yes.
Mr. Gillian?
Yes.
Mr. Midlick?
Yes.
Mrs. Frazier?
Yes. Okay, so your case has been approved.
Thank you.
Thank
For your
you.
time. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, next on our agenda tonight, we have our minutes. We
Now,
were,
next on your agenda tonight is the election of a vice chairperson.
that's not on the agenda.
It's on my version.
Number 4, that's what I got.
It's not on my agenda.
Not on mine either.
Yeah, it's not on mine.
Did you get the email today?
It's on this one.
No, I didn't get it.
No.
It was emailed from Tina today.
Sure. The fourth on our agenda is to approve a vice chairperson.
Okay, so on the newest agenda here, we'll elect a vice chairperson. Now, that is not in the actual ordinance, but we're doing that just for,
We're electing a vice chairperson tonight.
I'd like to know why. It's not in the ordinance. We are supposed to have a chair, and we're supposed to have a secretary.
In case the chairperson isn't there, the vice chairperson runs the meeting.
Okay,
The law director and the council clerk have asked us to have that done. It was on last week's, 2 weeks ago agenda and somehow got skipped over.
the law director actually suggested we not do it last week because,
He wasn't sure of why it was there.
Right.
He wasn't in that. People do work without the law director, especially the clerk of council, who
I also was not in that do work with the clerk of council. And so that's why I asked the same question.
So what is the purpose of secretary then?
it's in the ordinance, so we need one. We're asking to have you elect a vice chair.
And we still have a secretary.
Yes.
All right, I think Dave would make sense since he's an architect.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. So I'll make a motion to make Dave vice chair. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Sharma?
Yes.
Mr. Midlick?
Yes.
Mr. Gillian?
Yes.
Mrs. Frazier?
Yes. Okay. So then we also have the approval of minutes. We were not reissued February 17th again. We were issued the April 21st meeting minutes. I had a comment on case number 2, which was 220414. That was the Onyx Health Club signage. I'd like it to be added to the minutes that the sign was already constructed and installed upon the building when it came to us. I think that that impacted our decision to approve it as submitted and to grant the variance. So I think that it is important that that is included in the minutes. I had a note on case 3, which was 220416. It's noted on there that the monument sign does not need to have an address put on the sign, and that is correct. We did say that. I'd also like the reason for that to be noted, because the monument sign is on a different street from which the address is taken. We didn't want motorists to have confusion seeing an address number that is out of sync with the street that they're on because the sign is on an alternate street.
Right.
So I think that that should be noted, that that was our reason for not having the address, because typically we have the address.
Yeah. In the case they agreed to on that, the customer.
Yeah.
That was the restaurant by,
Correct. Yeah,
Yes.
the Tulum, the new restaurant being built right
Yeah,
beside.
Tulum, they had a monument sign that they were putting on Aurora Road, East Aurora Road, and their address is actually for the service road behind them.
yeah,
And so that's why we didn't include it, because the numbers would not go numerically down the street, which could be confusing to motorists.
Waiting on it.
We have to make a motion to approve these, right?
We have to make a motion to approve them as noted, if you're okay with the notes that I was,
Yeah, I think
Adding.
I think it's fair. Do you have any more changes?
changes, no, I guess the note, I was just going to note that the last page, page 5, about the amended minutes for the 17th, none of those statements had gone into the minutes. We didn't receive the 17th again. So we noted on here that we'd like those to be reflected, and they weren't. And then I just thought that the tone of that was a little off, but I guess everything on there's factual. So those are all my changes. So I'll ask for a motion, or would you like me to make the motion on this?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as noted, including my notes for case 220414 and 220416, as we just discussed.
Okay, I'll second it.
Mrs. Fraser,
Yes.
Mr. Midlick,
Yes.
Mr. Gillian,
yes.
Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
And going forward, when we have cases that are already constructed, when they're coming in for their approval, we'll try to make sure that it shows up in the minutes, but that is something that I think should be reflected.
Yeah.
Because it does impact our decision, because now we are not just making changes, we are making them remove and replace, and that's a tougher position to be put in, saying that we believe that those things are necessary, because it is now actually existing, so. Yeah. Okay, so I'll ask I would make the motion to continue the February 17th minutes, as we still have not received a revised,
There are no revised February 17th minutes coming, period.
but we've requested that they be revised.
They're not, you don't have the ability to tell the city to revise minutes. The clerk that runs this committee has submitted minutes. To my knowledge, there are no errors in those minutes.
There are omissions that we've requested on the
There are
record
not
to be
omissions.
included. There are omissions.
You are asking for more detail, and we're not doing that. So
Who's we?
the city is not going to redo minutes because we have a video that is the actual record of the meeting. The minutes are only to record the votes that are taken.
Okay, on the approval of minutes, I'm going to vote no. But because it's on here, I'll make the motion to approve the minutes from February 17th. I'll ask for a second.
I'll second it.
Mrs. Fraser,
No.
Mr. Midlick,
Yes.
Mr. Gillian,
Yes.
Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
Okay. We have excuse absent members. David is absent. He notified, I believe, the entire board that he would not be here. His mother has a health issue right now, and we let him know. Thank you for letting us know. And I'd make the motion to excuse him from this meeting.
I'll second it.
Mrs. Fraser,
Yes.
Mr. Sharma,
Yes.
Mr. Gillian,
Yes.
Mr. Midlick.
Yes.
Okay. Is there any further discussion tonight?
Not at this time.
Can you make a motion to adjourn
All
real
right.
quick?
Yeah, that sounds good. Then I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second it.
Hey, Daisy?
Mrs. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Sharma?
Yes.
Mr. Gillian?
Yes.
Mr. Midlick?